All right, good morning, guys. Today is Thursday, March 7th. As usual, going over analysis for US 30, gold and EU. So US 30 bullish, daily bias on gold bullish, daily bias on EU bullish, daily bias on the US dollar bearish. Now, we're going to be doing something a little different going forward. So we're not really going to be doing the SAR for now. So we're not going to be using the SAR strategies uh, for the near future. We're just going to focus on the zones strategy, which is ideally the supply and demand. So what we'll do. All right. So here what we are looking at the positions where we have those inner supply and inner demand. And when I say inner supply and inner demand, I mean where do we have the supply zones within supply zones and demand zones within demand zones. So for example, here on the 15-minute time frame, ideally we want to ask ourselves, where is price headed? So here, for example, and we don't want to trade the candle, the market open candle. So definitely here we have like this zone up here for like a sell. And then if we're looking to, for example, buy, we go ahead and check where's the next area for possible buys. So this. And we can turn off, actually, we can just turn off the whole indicator, this momentum indicator. So the goal here is to identify the areas that are likely, price is likely to sell and price is likely to buy from. So here, so we've identified this zones on the 15-minute time frame. So we can go ahead and close that out. And remember, we don't really want to trade the zones. If price is already in a supply zone within a supply zone or demand zone within a demand zone during market open candle, we don't want to trade that. We want to wait for retracement. So for example, here on the 30-minute time frame, you can see that's the next inner supply zone. So you go ahead and mark that up. And then if we're looking to buy, you go ahead and do this zone right here. Oh, actually here for US 30, this one would be better. I think this one would be a better zone right here. And then we would just wait for price to come to these zones. And then if price gets to those zones, you can either enter on impulse or I'll show you how I'm entering or how I'll be entering this trades. But the idea is to ask yourself, where is price coming from and where is price headed? So here on gold, let's turn on the zones. So here we can see on gold, we do have this zone all the way up here, 21. And these are zones as well. You can do like stop pending orders. So that's a sell zone on gold up there. If we're looking to buy right here, you also need to look at where there's nice and proper structure on gold or on whatever instrument you're looking to trade. So here we're looking for, I would say 2140. 2140, this looks like a nice area on gold. And if price gets to any of these zones, I'll show you guys how to go about it. So that's the 15-minute. On the 30-minute, here's the inner supply. That's right here. This should be gold. It's the inner supply area. And then for the 30-minute again, let's see. We have this zone right here for inner demand. So with this particular one, you're just looking for the nearest support and resistance areas, and then you're looking to catch trades when price gets to those zones. And then here, what we can do, we can put some alerts so that if price gets to those areas, we're notified. Let's see. Then we add another alert here. We do the same thing here for the 30-minute. And do the same thing here. Then what's the other one? The other one, do the alert here. And remember also today we have some news, heavy news as well. Powell is still he's still talking at Congress or testifying. So let's just add this alerts real quick. Add alert. All right, so we already have our alerts there. So we should be able to get alerted when price gets to our zones. Here on EU, again, we don't want to trade the market open candle. So we look for the next zone, which is, and if you have two zones like this, so this is inner supply and two inner supplies here. Of course, if you're selling, so same thing, same analogy with the SARs, right? You want to be looking to trade at the most optimal zone. So you're looking for the most optimal zone. So as much as you may have a lot of inner supply zones or inner demand zones, you want to look for the most optimal zones around there. Let's see, trend. And here for demand, the demand zone would be, so this one has already been, looks like this one has already been used. So if price were to come here, doesn't seem like price would hold. So you go and wait for it somewhere down here. For EU. Because this one would be a bit too far fetched. Then you go ahead and set your alerts. Add alert. And you add an alert here. So that's the 15-minute. Then you come back to the 30-minute. So same thing, this was the market open candle. So we go to the next zone. So the next zone is up here, the next supply zone or inner supply zone. This is EU right there. For demand, I would still wait for it down here. Only down here. Go ahead and so we already have an alert set there either way. So those are the trade setups. And then you have, so for the 1 hour, we do the same thing. 1 hour and 4 hour timeframes. So here on the 1 hour, if we look at it, the next zones we have is around here for US 30. So you have your short position there. I think I'd already marked this zones before the live session. And here for the buys, somewhere down here. Um, second. All right. And then for gold on the hourly as well, we already had that zone right there. Here on the hourly, I would say, yeah, this one right here. At 2144.5, add an alert here as well. And we go ahead and turn those off. EU sell zone is right here. So this would be just a matter of patience. You do your alerts, and then you want to trade. You don't want to. I haven't tested before New York, so and normally I don't trade before New York session. So you want to for this moves like before 9:30. No, I'm sorry, after 9:45 Eastern time, and then up to 2:30 p.m. Eastern time. So again, this is supply and demand. So I'm taking a since after I reviewed the SAR strategy a few, was it last week, and then noticed that the zones also come into play. So the zones at this point override the SARs. So as much as I was using the SARs before, I always ask myself what the nearest zones were. So this is ideally the same thing, is just taking the SAR strategy out of the equation. And this is just to adapt to the market, to the changing markets. So for here, I changed this EU, and yeah, so those are the 1 hour zones for EU. So ideally now my work is now to just wait for price to come to any of these zones. And for this one, the daily bias is irrelevant because you're not looking to trade any direction. You're just asking yourself, where is price going? So here, the idea would be either price goes here first or comes here first. So whichever comes first. So for me, I really don't care about looking for buys only or looking for sells only if I'm doing the supply and demand. And I don't know, I'll find a new way to call it or whatever. But ideally, you're looking for those supply zones within supply zones and demand zones within demand zones. So inner supply and inner demand, which is what I'll call it. But all I care about is for price to come to either of these two, whichever comes first, and even if it comes much later. Like yesterday, because I backtested this for the whole of actually this week, since Monday, and I this morning I backtested this for the last 2 weeks. So on Monday there wasn't any entry. Tuesday there was an entry. The Tuesday that we took that loss, there was that entry. Yesterday there was an entry, but the entry came at 2 p.m. So for this particular way, some of these trades will line up like around 2 p.m. So it's either they line up 9:45 to like 10:30-ish, or like at 2 p.m. So this is why I'm setting alerts on this one. And it might be even areas to set pending orders once I get the hang of setting pending orders. But that's what I'll be focusing on going forward. And also makes the charts a bit cleaner, because you see we don't now have all those lines for SARs. Let's see.
I'm like, you doing supply and demand now, this as the main strategy?
Yeah, because that overrides the SAR. Because even when I was doing SAR, I had to get confluence of supply and demand. So I just figured there's really no reason to even do SARs anymore. Because even when I was doing the SAR, like I had to look for the final confluence for supply and demand. Now, the only issue with this, you get a lot of, which is why you have to, like somebody like me who takes 2 trades a day, you end up getting a lot of trade setups. So even for me, I might lower my risk per trade to maybe 0.5% instead of 1% because you might get like 4 of these entries um, in any day. Uh, but that's also why I'm limiting the time that I'm trading them. For the 4 hour, I don't let's see what's going on the 4 hour. I haven't back tested the 4 hours, so that's probably gonna come later. But ideally, it's the same thought process. So yeah, even this one for the 4 hour price, the entries at the 4 hour supply. Um, yeah, I'll have to backtest the 4 hour, but right now I'll just focus on the 15 minute, 30 minute, and the 1 hour zones. Um, so let's see. So you might get the US 30 entry, might get the US 30 and EU entries, but I'll just send this ones out. Trade
Man,
ID.
this the market's just been I've been watching it and I ain't been trading, but it's just catching people trying to catch that reverse, man, on gold and on the indices.
Oh yeah. Yeah, yeah, the indices keep raking back up.
This is like a good time to use a breakout strategy after New York Open. It's pretty effective right about now. Even if you get caught on the first entry and it reverses, then you just kind of got a plan for a sell in or buy, have a setup for both. But that strategy pretty works right now, the way the markets are moving kind of choppy-ish.
Yeah. So that's US 30. This is gold. Mm, mm. Yeah, but March should be a good month if all goes well, or if history is anything to go by. Let's see.
I think we're gonna definitely see some movement tomorrow.
Oh, during NFP. Yeah, because even yesterday and today, or yesterday, we didn't have too much. US 30 gold and EU. EU looks really good though. I'm liking it. Let's see. Open.
How you go about the entries on that? Do you just enter upon reaction on the zone?
Yeah, so I just use the breakout scanner. So remember with the breakout scanner, those crossover buys and sells, that's what I use. But I go on the 5 second for entry. So if I'm looking for a sell, I wait for a red X. After price gets to that zone, if I'm looking for the sell, I look for the crossover sell. Um, if I'm doing a buy, I do the crossover buy. The 1 minute is good as well, but what I noticed for the 1 minute is you might be late to the game. You might be late to the game. So for example, the 5 second entry can be down here, but then the 1 minute entry is all the way up here, like 40 points or 30 points away from where you could have entered. So that actually makes the difference on whether you're getting stopped out or actually stopped out, not even stopped at a break even. Like you failed to achieve a 1:1 risk to reward, which is like, for example, those Friday, if you remember last Friday when we were waiting for that 1 minute entry, if we had entered at the 5 second, we would have caught that those pushes on gold and EU because it's the same thing. As much as we're using the SARs, I was also waiting for price to bounce off of a supply and demand level. But yeah, the 1 minute, as much as it might be safer, you might be late to the game
So as
on
long as
that.
you have your markups for supply and demand on a high time frame, you're safe to use small time because I paid for the annual for
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's
the
either that or even entering on impulse. But let me show you here. What day? Tuesday. Tuesday is when we took a loss. Was it on US 30? So here, if I show you that backtest for Tuesday, and I think it was Tuesday. So if we go Tuesday at 9:30 right here. So you'll see that difference. So this is 9:15. So if we look here at Tuesday and we apply those zones, all right. So here, ideally, you're looking at, so you don't want to trade if price is already in a zone. So here I wouldn't trade these zones because they are zones based off of one candle, right? So you're looking for this darker shaded zone. So for example, if I was looking for a buy on US 30, this is the buy I would have, set an alert for, like around this price point, 38,730. So this, and if I was doing a sell, looking at where price is, probably somewhere up here. So then you would be expecting price to go to one of these two zones. So those are your buying and selling zones. So this is 9:30. So the next candle is what? 9:45. Yeah, so this is the 9:30 to 9:45 candle. So now you can trade here. So for example, if this 9:30 candle was already here, was already at your entry before market open, that's not a trade you would take. You would want price to be away from your zones before market open. So you can see this one. So that's one. So this one right here, now this is 9:45. So this one you can trade because it's after, because for me, what I consider after market open is 9:45 and above. So this one, and you can see it tapped exactly to that zone. And this one would have gone straight to full TP, just like that. So when price was here, so there's two ways to do it. And which is why if you're buying, you want to go to the low of that demand zone. So you don't want to go to the high of it. So you want to go to that low of the inner demand zone. If you're selling, you want to go to the high of that inner supply zone and not to the low of it, right? Just to achieve that efficiency. So for me here, if we were on the live session and this happened, so there's two ways. For me, I'm just not comfortable about doing whatever, what is it called? Impulse entries. So for me, I would have waited, I would have gone on to the breakout and looked for a 5 second crossover entry. So yes, maybe I wouldn't have caught the low, but I would have caught something like this because the 5 second moves so quickly. So maybe I would have caught something like this and still would have hit full TP. But that's the thought process. So of course you don't want to catch like an entry here. You want to look for those inner supply and inner demand zones. Just put the price, just put your alerts there and just wait for price to come to those zones, and that's it.
All right.
And sometimes it does take a while. Sometimes do watch like the 2 p.m. time frame. Like yesterday was perfect for 2 p.m. because if you look here on the 30-minute and we backtest yesterday, because that's when I caught that move around 2 on the 30-minute and even on the 15-minute. Actually, I think 15-minute was probably the better one. Here on the 30-minute, you had this zones right here. So one other thing I noticed, you also want to look at the structure to your left. So here, this is the first one that I caught, and I cashed out early because I wasn't liking the setup to the left, and I was seeing the setup to the left at the bottom here. So for example, here, as much as this was a nice zone, and this one happened, this is the buy that I caught, but you can see down here, we still have this zone right here, this zone that right here. And for this zone, it has better structure to the left than this one. So here there was more consolidation to the left compared to here. So eventually, like this one would have hit a break even. This trade, even though I would have held it, would have hit break even, because if you look at the next candle, because it got to this part and hit break even at like this 1:1 from the low of that. Yeah. So this one would have gotten taken out of break even. But for me, since I saw this market structure to the bottom here, I decided to just cash out early. But here, this was the next best one, because you can see there was more structure to the left compared to here. So this one is the one that would have gone instantly to full TP. So same thing, when price comes to this zone, you either enter in on impulse or you look for like that 5-second entry or even 10-second. So if you do the 5-second, maybe your entry would have been somewhere like this, and still you'd have hit the full TP. And this came like at 2 p.m. 2 p.m.-ish. So that's what I've noticed, 2 p.m. Or even post 12 p.m. So if you don't get any of these entries between 9:45 and 11, you will get them like after 12 p.m. So kind of even like the Friday vibe I was talking about.
All right, cool. I think that's the last part of the last steps is trying to cut down my actual trading time.
Yeah, because even here, like here for US 30, here for you, like today for US 30, the market opened when price was in a supply zone. But right, going with that rule of not taking a trade if prices, because if we turn this on, you'll see that here we did have that inner supply zone. The only issue was that if I backtest this or if I replay this, this is the 9:15 candle, and this is the 9:30 candle. So here, this was a nice zone for selling US 30s here, around here. But then, since price is already in that zone, you can easily get manipulated. But in this instance, you'd just be back and forth in profit or something like that. So of course, sometimes it's gonna go, but for me, I would rather wait for price to go to if price is already in those inner supply and inner demand zones during market open, I would rather wait for price to get back to another inner supply or inner demand zone. Because what they can do during market open, they can hunt you like that, go to that zone, and then come back. Yeah, but this one,
I mean, but with something like that though, before market open, right, you can't take into consideration how many pips up it moved to kind of give you more of a odds that it will go down.
yeah, you can. Because that's the other part I was thinking. Like, even before market open, you ask yourself, where did price come from and where did it go? So like the only thing with like during Asian or even London, sometimes markets are consolidating, because what you would want to see is like, okay, was this during London? Yeah, Thursday. So if we backtest this and say start off before London open, which I think is 3 p.m. US 30 time. So if I was trading London, the same thing, I would want to see where are my supply and demand zones. So here, if I was trading London, honestly, my buy would have been somewhere here. 38,448. So ideally you'd want to see where is price coming from and where is price going. So if I was buying here, if I was selling for London, I would sell here, right? Which now coincides with the New York Open we are talking about, or with the New York Open we are seeing. So here, this would be the selling point right here. This would be my supply point. So if we play
Yeah, that's
this,
exactly what I meant too, because you would have took that sell if you was watching the market from London.
yeah. So if I was watching the market from London, then maybe I would have had a pending sell right there. Yeah. But for me, since now I'm trading only New York, yeah, but if I was trading London, like I would have had maybe a pending sell stop right there. And then right now it'd be like in break even. Yeah, but now the key thing is to check where is price coming from and where is price likely to head. And if you apply those zones, like you'll be able to see where price is headed to. I was liking this E. I
That
thought we
zone
would have.
looks a lot
Go
stronger
ahead.
than the one above it to me too. The one that's is currently rejecting from.
Yeah, this one that's currently rejecting. But you see this other one is nice as well. You see this structure right here to the left. You see all
Yeah,
of that,
that is a lot.
right? So even this one is nice, but this one, so you want all this, you want to see that consolidation around that zone. Um, I was hoping to get, I'm liking this EU one right here. And I think it was either the 30, I think the 1 hour is more looks much better. Yeah, this 1 hour, I think it even has a better entry point, 1.09271. Not the 30 minutes. Oh, they are in and around the same one, yeah. So I'm liking the EU ones. Yeah, but that's what now for me, my work is just since I've already set my alerts, I'll just wait for price to come to any of those zones and then I'll look to enter those trades. Because even if we had any SARs around this zone, whether I was selling or whether I was buying, this would still be wait, this is a 15-minute. Why is this one down here? Uh give me a second. Um wait. Oh, maybe it's because it's on replay mode. Nope. What? Never mind. I don't know why I put this one here. 38,503. Uh okay. So this one is here. I don't know why I'd put that one there. It's probably a mistake. Yeah, so now my job is to just wait for price to come here in any of those areas, and then that's it.
Yeah,
When do
today
when
could
do
just
when do they migrate your stuff?
I think they are just finishing up with the non-US people. And then the funded accounts are gonna be ready after the weekend. And I think us on the US account demos should be also after this weekend. So
Wait, so they are migrating everybody?
yeah, everyone's migrating because even the ones that are in out of USA, they are using MT5, but Meta Traders is cracking down on everybody. So
Mm-hmm. Damn.
they already took it away from this prop firm from non-US customers. So they started warning. So I think this prop firm just being proactive because they know
Oh
it's coming.
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
But they're doing really well because they're setting up like four other platforms this time. So just to have backups on backups, they're gonna do C Trader, Match Trade, DX Trade, and just one more. Shit. I can't remember the last one, but I know it's four of them that they're gonna implement.
Hmm.
So We'll see.
Yeah, I mean it's good. It's good that they're being proactive. That's good because
Yeah, and they're pretty transparent. They comment dinner every day or post some kind of video updates every day on what's going on. It don't always be good news, but I appreciate that they're being honest about shit. So
yeah, yeah, that's true.
they gave everybody a 50% off coupon voucher to use on any challenge going forward, and so that's pretty good too.
Yeah. All right, bro. I think for me that's gonna be it. I'll just wait for price to come to any of these zones, and I'll just wait for my alerts to trigger.
All right, cool.
All right, bro. See ya.